So yesterday we got to chat with our guy Jack McClinton. It's been my favorite part so far. The Canes making this Final Four run is getting to catch up with some of the guys who helped build this program, getting to where it's at. So if you missed any of that yesterday, you can go back. You can listen to yesterday's episode. You catch Jack McClinton. And today we got Darius Rice, another guy who part of the building blocks, the foundation of this University of Miami Hoops basketball program. Darius, so glad to have you on the show here today. Tell me, how have you experienced this run so far for the Canes through this tournament?
Man, crazy. Um, I told people at the beginning, this team was already too late last year, and then you add Omier and you add Pack to our team, who was, and I coached against Omier when I was at Mississippi Valley State, so I knew what kind of rebounder he was. So you add those to what we already had. I kind of knew we were going to make it far. Never thought we'd make it to the before, but it's 20 years in making for me. Playing against a UConn team who I have a past, so it just all played, the right way. It played. It should have been played. Old Big East rivals in the Final Four. We've been underdogs in every game, so. We knocked off Texas. We knocked off Houston. I mean, we beat some good people to get here. As a matter of fact, Drake probably was our hardest game.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you think about it. Down, I think, 7 points with 4.5 minutes left against Drake. You think about that moment right there. I mean, I remember watching that game, Darius, and watching with my son, and I turned to him, I go, we're going to lose. We're going to lose this game. Down 7,
Yeah.
4.5 minutes left, and now Final Four. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I looked at it too, and I was like, we're losing to Drake. There's no way we're losing to Drake this early in the tournament. Like, it's no way. And with 7 minutes to go, Wong was having a terrible game, and all of a sudden we fought back. And it shows how strong we are, how resilient we are, because we always fight back every year. The Cane, we call them the Cardiac Canes, because we always come back and win some kind of way.
They just had to get past that. Like, once that game ended, and, I text a buddy of mine who's a huge Canes hoops fan. I go, that shit was awesome. He's like, not really. And I'm like, nah, man, survive in advance. Wong is not going to have that game again. Nor Chad Omier, who just came back from the ankle injury. The next game, he had 17 rebounds on that Sunday. And so it's like, just survive and get past that first game. And now you look at where they're at. What was it like for you this past game to get to the Final Four? Canes are down 13, 64-51 with about 11, 12 minutes left. How are you watching the games? Like, are you nervous? How are you?
Well, at first, we started slow and they came out hot. And the kid Rice from Texas, I made a post and I was like, I had to check his birth certificate and see we're not related the way he was shooting the ball. So they jumped on us. They were up 13 and I laid down like it's no way we made it. Well, it was a good run. I'm sitting there like it was a good run. We did the best we could, but when Coach L called a timeout, and I coached with Coach L as a grad assistant in 2018. And one thing about him that I've learned, like, he calls timeouts to make changes. He doesn't call timeouts to waste. So he saw something out there. He made a change. And you notice we didn't take a three-point attempt the whole second half. We just drove. We realized Texas couldn't guard us off the bounce. And we kept driving. And Texas still thought their threes were going to fall in the second half, and they didn't. We packed the paint. They missed all their shots, and we kept going and getting fouled. And we got a questionable call over there over the back. But I'll tell you, it's about time we get off.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, Darius, I was yelling at the TV because the initial call was it's a foul on Norchad, which of course fouls him out as well. It was so obvious that he was undercut. That's not even close to a loose ball foul on Norchad. They changed it. And not just that play right there, but when the Canes were up, I think they were up 2, and they got the stop, and then they hit the free throws to put them up by 4. Norchad slaps the ball out of the kid's hands, which, talk about a gutsy play right there from Norchad to go for the strip. And by the way, you got to give a little credit, Darius, to the official for getting it right and swallowing the whistle, because the hand reaches out like that. A lot of times their inclination is, hey, that's going to be a reaching foul. We're going to make that call.
But people don't realize the ball is part of the hand. In the NBA, I know it's an NBA rule, but college, the ball is part of the hand. As long as the ball is in your hand and you hit ball in hand, that's not a call. So the official, he actually made the right call. But the over the back to me was kind of questionable because the guy was in good box out position, and when it was over the back, I'm not gonna lie, it was over the back, but I think when he jumped and his momentum was still, boxing him out and pushing him back, it made it
Yeah.
look like he was undercutting him. So it could have gone either way. It really could have, because if you look at it, it was clearly over the back. But hey, sometimes we got to get a call too.
Now, I know you're in Texas. I mean, I don't know how far you are from Houston. Are you going to be there this weekend?
Oh yeah, I'm there. I'm 3 hours away. I'm there. I will be there Friday evening. Actually, I have two shows I have to do there. I have a TV appearance. So yeah, I'll be there Friday.
Have you been in touch with any other alumni, maybe some former teammates? Is a whole crew getting together?
Oh yeah, I've talked to Anthony Harris. He's flying in from Mongolia. He's overseas playing. He's flying into Chicago, and then he's flying down tomorrow. Robert Height, he'll be there. Mario Bland will be there. Who else said? I mean, a lot of guys said they're coming. So we're gonna pack it. We're gonna be in there.
That's really cool. That's
We're
really
gonna be. I
cool.
mean, we waited a long time for this. From the Tim James, Johnny Hemsley days, and then with me showing up and bringing all the hype and stuff to show that Miami's more than a football school, and now people are buying in. And Jimmy Graham's came, and then the Jack McClin, Shane Larkin. Now guys are starting to see Miami as a basketball program. So, it's only up for us because it's already Miami. The hardest thing was getting the fan base and getting the people to buy into. We could ball down here too. We got the weather, we got the beach, we got the girls, we got everything you need.
Darius, was your freshman year the first year in what, of course, then was called the Convocation Center?
No, we started off in the Miami Arena. We didn't have
Oh,
we
okay.
didn't have many fans. We were in a bad neighborhood. You know how it is down there. And midway through my junior years, when we opened the building, they started building it my freshman year. But my junior year, we opened it against North Carolina. I hit the three in the corner, taking overtime, hit the shot in the overtime to win it, and then the next game was the UConn game.
Yeah, we'll get to the UConn game in a second here. Everyone wants to hear about the UConn game. We'll get to that in a second here. So I want to know, I remember I used to go as a kid. You and I think, around the same age. I used to go as a kid to those games, early 90s, mid 90s, Miami Arena. And it was like no one cared about Canes basketball. You got Coach Leonard Hamilton, who I love. All right. You was coaching that team. And
Mm-hmm.
I could still smell the cinnamon almonds when I walk in the steps there at Miami Arena.
Yeah.
There were more members of the band than there were fans, okay, at those
Mm-hmm.
games. So tell me, Darius, when you're being recruited and you're seeing, you're at the games at Miami Arena and there's nobody there, what convinced you to go to UM?
Well, after the McDonald's game, I committed to Kentucky. Kentucky was my first choice by far. If I had gone there, you'd actually won a national championship my freshman year if I had gone there. But my last visit was Miami, and Coach Hamilton had a great meeting with him. Coach Stan Jones was from Mississippi, so I knew him. Mario Bland was from Mississippi, I knew him. Leroy Hurd was on my AAU team in Mississippi, so they had a lot of pieces there that I knew and I was familiar with, and it came down to me. It was, they didn't take me to a game. I guess they didn't want to see the atmosphere. Uh, but what I remember is I sat there with him, and he said, "Do you want to be a face on the wall at Kentucky or Duke?" Because I would have gone to Duke too, but Duke had one scholarship and they gave it to Chris Duhon, and his visit was before mine. They said, "Do you want to be a face on the wall at these big schools and people forget you, or do you want to come and start your own legacy?" And that's what sold me on being a Cane. I wanted to start my own. Uh, and I think I did the best I could at doing that with what I had. Those Miami Arena days, it's easy to play Central Florida and it'd be 300 people there, 200 people there. You call out a play, the echoes in the gym. It's cold because there's no fans. I mean, I endured all of that. I saw all of that, and I saw how it changed by my junior year. Now we got 6, 7, 8,000 people in the arena, and how big it is now now they're in the ACC. And man, I just wish these guys understood. Like, hey, we grinded back in the day. We fought for the fans. We argued every day. We need to get on campus arena. We need to get on campus arena. And now you see what we have.
So I believe it was the second game in the Convocation Center. Like you said, the first game, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was the second game, Convocation Center. 43 points, improbable game-winning three-pointer from Darius Rice in the corner of the steal. You must be getting bombarded with messages and memories this entire week about, one of my buddies who, like I told you, enormous Canes hoops fan, said, when I told him yesterday, hey, I got Darius Rice coming on the show, he goes, that's amazing. I was just watching back video of his shot against UConn. So you must be getting so many messages this week about that memory, right?
Oh, I know you see how my Twitter page is right now. It's grown for the last 48 hours. It has just grown. Everybody's just sending me shouts out and memories and love. A lot of different things, and I couldn't find that game until yesterday. For the first time, I have it on VHS, but I found it online. It's on the UConn's Husky webpage. That's the only way. And I downloaded it so I wouldn't lose it again. That's the only way you can find that game because the school got rid of all our Big East stuff. I don't know. No one can find our Big East stuff, but man, like I said, ever since we beat Texas and now they know we were playing UConn, I've just been getting like, oh my God, it's a renewed rivalry, 23 years in the making, this and that, and this and that. And I'm loving every minute. I'm like the biggest UConn hater since Karan Butler sat there and started dancing while they were ahead, didn't know the outcome was going to happen.
It's funny you mentioned that. I love Karan. I mean, one of my all-time favorite Miami Heat guys, even though he was only with the Heat for 2 years.
He's probably the hardest guy I've had to go. Ron Butler could do everything, and then he was just strong, aggressive, and like tough. Like he's probably outside of maybe Carmelo. He's probably the hardest guy I've ever had to guard.
And I remember that game against UConn because Karan was with the Heat. I think it was maybe his rookie year. Yeah, I think it was his rookie year.
Yeah, his rookie year.
Yeah, he was there. I guess behind the Husky bench for that game that you hit the game-winning three-pointer, right?
Yeah, he was right there. He come over. The Heat just played the night before. And me and Karan off the court were good friends. He's from Wisconsin. I was dating one of his best friends from Wisconsin. We were good friends, but we were just rivalries. Like he's Big East. We were the same class. We were just like that's how it is in basketball. We not like today where everybody's friends. We hated each other on the court.
Oh, you're speaking my language, Darius. Man, I can't handle all the hugging and kissing. Everybody loves each other before these games. Let's get back to being friends away from the court when nobody can see us. And when we're on the court, it's competition, and we don't like each other. And we don't like each other. Yeah, I'm with you, Darius. So
he's sitting back there. He's jumping up and down. He's laughing and giggling. I see this out the corner of my eye, and I'm just letting him. I'm just keep going. Just keep plugging away. And I wanted to run over there and do something silly. Why, when I saw that look on his face when they lost, but it was like 25 NBA scouts over there. I didn't want to do nothing too silly.
What was that locker room like for you guys after that win against UConn?
Man, it was a blur. I know I went to the media room. I got to my phone first. I had 97 missed calls. 97 missed calls. My mom's on the phone. She left a voice message. She's crying. My sister's crying. Everybody's excited. The only thing I was mad at, and it's a funny story, was the girl I was dating at the time. We were down. It's 8 seconds left. She was trying to beat the traffic. So she leaves. She leaves. So you know how the convocation center has those steps. She's walking down the steps, and she told me, she said, all I heard was everybody cheering really loud from the inside. And I run back up the steps, and you're running around the court.
Oh man! Well, at least she ran back. At least she heard the roar of the crowd.
Because I promise you, I was gonna leave her for the strip club. God, you left my game. Yeah, I'm out. You left the game early. Oh, I'm gone.
Oh man, that's a great story. Did you get it? Did you get a call? Because back then, I don't believe there were text messages quite yet. Back then, 2003, that wasn't really
a thing. Text messages. It was on the little flip phone that had a game Snake on it. You remember that game?
Yes. Yeah, and in order to text the letters, you had to press each number 3 times. Yeah, that's right. Oh man, the young kids listening right now, they got no idea what Darius and I are talking about. They got no idea. Do you miss the days of the Big East? I mean, UConn, you hate UConn, obviously, and now it's ACC. And look, ACC, it's probably the best conference. Duke, North Carolina. But do you miss those rivalry days with the Big East?
Yeah, I miss it, and I hate that they took a lot of the memorabilia from the Big East days away, because think about the ranked teams that we had. Georgetown was ranked, UConn was ranked, we were ranked, Virginia Tech was ranked, Providence was ranked, Pittsburgh was ranked. Every game was a fight. Yep. Every game was a fight. So at the same time, it was more physical back then. Like you could hand check, you could body check. If you watched the UConn game we played, when I'm posting up, look at all the hitting that was going on. Like, you can't do that now.
Yeah.
And you touch somebody now, it's a foul. Like, they let us play, they let us bang back in the day.
Yep.
And you missed those, right? Like, the Big East was called the Big East for a reason, because they was known for as a physical conference. St. John's, you go to St. John's, you're gonna leave out bloody every night.
Yeah.
Villanova was ranked with Jay Wright. Me and Jay Wright had some words. We both got a tech going into halftime with each other. That's how bad it was. But yeah, you missed those days. But like I said, I wish that I see the NCAA folding soon because of the NIL and all this money that's going around. I don't think it's going to be conferences in a couple of years. I think it's just going to be play who you want to play.
How about your guy James Jones, who's a childhood friend of mine, actually? How about what he's doing, your former teammate, what he's doing in Phoenix? Pretty awesome, huh?
Yeah, James was that quiet guy in the locker room. I knew he was destined to great things. He was always smart. I came into Miami, I was the cocky dude. I wanted to fight everybody. I come in with all this, hoopla, like, this is my show. I'm going to do this shit the way I want to do it. And James was like, no, you got to calm down. You have to do this. You have to be like that. And he got together. And you saw that during his NBA career with LeBron and with the Heat and with Cleveland. He kept, he was the guy that kept LeBron under control, kept him quiet, kept him calm and humble. And showing now he's with Phoenix at GM, and they just brought in KD. They got, Chris Paul, who really nobody likes, but he got Chris Paul. You got Devin Booker, who's from Mississippi, who's a guy that I worked with. And he knows how to build a program. He's really smart, and like, we knew James was destined for great things.
Tell me here, you worked a little, obviously, with Coach L a few years ago. Give me your thoughts on him, and just, what a great guy. What an incredible job he's done.
Great guy. The one thing that I admire about Coach L, what he did and what he does now, is he loves his players. He loves his team. He cares about his team. And I didn't have that as a college player. Coach Hamilton left me. Coach Hamilton left. I signed 2 weeks later. He left. Michael Jordan gave him the money. I would have left too.
Yeah.
But we didn't have the transfer portal then. I was stuck. I couldn't leave. So Coach L, he loves on his players, good or bad. And when I was there, it's all a brother. It was all a camaraderie. He's very, punctual. He's very, he's like a perfectionist. He wants things done right. We'll stick in practice and run the same thing over and over and over and over until we get it right. He wanted everything to be done a certain way. And it shows on the court, and the togetherness and the love that team has for each other. There's no one cares who gets the glory. No one cares who gets the glory. And when you meet him as a recruit, you can't help but to like him. And like I said, that's the things that I see with him that I didn't have as a college player. Coach Clark didn't fly with his girl. He didn't travel with her. He didn't, we didn't come over his house and hang out. We didn't do those things. We just survived and kept playing. We played for each other. It wasn't for him. It was for us as a team.
I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to get your opinion. I'm going to get your prediction here, which I'm sure you're super excited about this weekend. I just want to tell you a real quick story, okay? Because I know you mentioned a few things about Coach Perry on Twitter, and you don't need to say anything else about that, but I'm going to tell you a quick story here, okay? Because you confirmed something for me and my friends. Me and my buddies for about 20 years now, all right, Darius? We have had a running joke about those Perry Clark days that you guys used to play in all those preseason tournaments out there in Vegas, specifically because Coach Perry wanted to spend the entire night at the craps table. Yes. We swore that was why you guys played all those tournaments, and it's been a running joke for us for 20 years now, and you confirmed it for us, Darius.
Oh, yes. Don't forget, we went to the Virgin Islands, and you know what happened down there.
Yep.
Every year we went somewhere exotic now.
Yep. Yeah, you totally confirmed our running joke for us that it is a true story. So I'm glad you were able to give us a good laugh there yesterday. Have you been allowed finally here for Darius Rice, one of the real foundations and building blocks of this Canes Hoops program? Have you allowed yourself to think about Monday, or are you just focused on UConn right now?
Right now it's UConn, man, because that's, to me, I think that's the biggest challenge in our way right now. I think Monday's going to take care of itself. On paper, whoever we play on the other side Monday, we're on paper a better team. UConn is probably the only team left that's on paper might be a little bit better than us because they're so big and their size, really kind of can affect us. And then we're playing at NRG Stadium. We're playing in a football stadium, so the backdrop could be a lot different, and it could affect shooters, which we are shooters. So the UConn game is going to be the toughest game, and You can never look over anybody to the championship. I think with one game remaining, we're going to go out and play as hard as we can on Monday. If we get by Saturday, but we have to take care of Saturday because UConn. I'm pretty sure UConn's hearing all the old stuff with the old history about us too, and I guarantee you they're sick of it because I've been tagging them too. I don't like them.
It's all very, very exciting, Darius. Tell everyone right now how they can keep up with you and just catch up with everything you got going on right now.
Oh, you can always go to any of my social media pages. Is D Rice for three, FR with the number three on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm on Facebook too, just my name. I respond. I always write. I'm always interacting with the fans. There's no problem with me. I'm cool with that. I've always been like that. If you ask anybody in Miami who actually met me, they're the same way. They're like, hey, D Rice gonna take pictures. He's gonna talk to you. He'll shoot with you in the gym. That's what I do. They can reach me there. They can always write me anytime. As soon as you wrote me, I wrote right back, right?
Absolutely. I was thrilled to be able to get a hold of you so fast. Darius, have a lot of fun, man, this weekend in Houston. It's all super exciting for everyone down here, and I appreciate you hanging out with us today. Thank you, man.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime.